They will help you with anything. Also, RMI Regional Medical Imaging, our local imaging place all over Michigan, helping people save lives. Why are you so quiet today?
I want to crack this in the mic.
Okay.
All right.
And there she goes.
Cheers, everyone.
Yeah, cheers. Oh, my gosh.
10 a.m.
Sweating. What are we drinking today? Soft Parade, shorts.
It's all
brew.
shorts.
What do you
Shorts
got?
brew.
You got shorts too?
Yeah, I got soft
And
parade.
I got Bel Air Brown.
Oh, well, that other voice that you're hearing, everybody, we have Karen Kiszka. Okay, I say it different every time because no one tells me if I'm right or wrong. Is it Kishka? Kishka?
Kishka is just the regular American pronunciation.
Okay.
Kishka is, you'll heard Polish
Kishka.
people say Kishka.
Kishka?
That's how
What do you prefer?
It's just Kishka to me. Of course, my husband, in his professional persona, is not Papa Kiszka. He's Papa Kishka.
Well, of course.
So, I guess that's.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the third mic on Ladies of the Comedy Series, Karen Kiszka.
Thank you so much for being here today, Karen.
Oh, absolutely. Thanks
You're
for having
so
me.
darling.
Yay!
We love you.
Oh,
we love you.
stop
I can't
it.
wait to tell everybody how important you are to me. I can't wait.
You're so
For
sweet.
those of you that are watching on Facebook or YouTube or wherever you found us, you'll see we have the Smile Cup on the table today. This week from Telefloral is Make Someone Smile Week.
Oh.
So someone tried for me.
Well,
I'm
that's
just
the
kidding.
thought that counts.
I'm just kidding. I'm
It's a
smiling.
thought.
You know me. I
You
can't
always
not.
smile.
I can't not smile, but I was like, oh, let's put that on the table. That will be fun.
Yes, it's
So-
very pretty. Who did it come from?
103.9 The Fox.
Oh, awesome.
All of our
sweet.
amazing friends over
They're
there.
so
Roy
sweet.
Moore had he's like, here, take this. You need it. I was like, really? One day I don't wear makeup. One day.
Right?
Anywho, Karen, let's dive into your life. Here's the deal. For those of you that don't know or have been living under a rock for your life, Karen is the mother of 3 of the Greta Van Fleet boys.
Whoop, whoop.
Karen is also a bit of a musician herself, which we're going to get into that.
Awesome.
And she married a musician and a blues singer.
Oh.
So you have a wild life. Like most people don't even imagine all of that going on. What
it's
What do you
crazy.
do every day?
Well, now the boys
Do you
are
live
not
normal
around.
ever?
I got a little more normal going on now since the boys have been out on the road.
Oh, see, because since they've become huge rock stars, now my life is more normal. That's
Right.
hilarious. That's hilarious. You just said that.
It's true. Yeah.
So, tell us what boys are yours?
Josh, lead singer, Jake, guitar, and Sam, bass and
Okay.
keys.
Yep, and 2 of those are twins.
And Josh and Jake are twins.
Yep, a lot of people
They're the
think it's
oldest.
the other 2.
Right.
Yeah, Sam and Jake, a lot of people think are twins.
Yeah,
I
Isn't
think
that
it's
wild?
just the long hair.
Right. It's probably
Yeah.
fun for them to mess with people.
It is.
I'm sure they love that.
Well, it's funny because one of the fans took a picture of Josh. Well, I guess he took a picture of all the boys in the band, but there were 2 T-shirts thrown up on stage.
Oh.
And it was just like the face, you know. So Sam and Tanner, who is one of their techs,
Yeah.
like grabbed the shirts and they were wearing them all the time. And it was like, oh, Josh was face. And I think it was actually Mike, another guy in the crew, that was like, well, that's Jake. So when you see them without hair,
The face looks
you
exactly
think they're the same. Everybody thought there were 2 T-shirts of Joshua
Wow.
until Micah went, no, that's Jake.
Oh,
you know?
wow.
So
That's cool.
That is cool.
I've never had twins. You've never had twins?
No.
I've had a baby in July, which was awful.
that would be awful.
When were your boys born?
All 3 were born in April.
Oh, okay.
So the twins are April 23rd,
Oh, wow, cool.
and Sammy's the 3rd.
Aw,
Yeah, and then my daughter, who's in between.
Yeah.
So there was Josh.
Wait, you
and
have a
Jake.
daughter?
Yep. Yep.
Yes.
And she was October. She's an October baby.
lovely. She's lovely.
Does she play musical instruments too?
She sings.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, she
how
plays
fun.
a little bit of ukulele and she
cool.
sings, but she's on her own path.
So
Nice.
tell everybody what you play or played.
I played viola and clarinet and a little bit of keys,
That's awesome.
but
And your
once I had kids, I was
gets hard.
trying to do piano, and those twins, they could barely walk. I mean, they were like under a year, but they could reach the keyboard with it, you know. And I'd be like, and then they could climb up, and then they're boom.
Yeah. You're like,
was
no,
that?
gotta go. Gotta
How
go.
was that? We left the piano, but I kind of gave up trying to actually
Well,
play.
because, I mean, I can't even go to the bathroom.
No.
And they're like, Mom, what you doing?
Yeah.
So much less playing an instrument. Oh, my heavens.
That's
I can't
awesome,
imagine.
Yeah.
I
So
can
they
imagine.
literally have grown up around music, and your whole family is very
Yeah, and my
musically inclined.
brother Dave plays guitar and has for years. And so my husband and my brother, before we were even married, would play. And
cool.
Kelly played some guitar, but mostly his harp. And then I would sing. And that's what we did. And then so the boys
Like
came
in front
and
of people or just for fun at bonfires? Or
had fun at bonfires. Yeah, nothing professional or anything. No, just
I didn't hang out with anybody that cool, did you?
No.
I mean, I
no.
told really distasteful jokes around bonfires as a high schooler.
I wanted you at my party.
Yeah, and I mean, thinking back, probably some of them were racist. I'm not gonna lie, because that's what, as a kid, you think it's funny.
Yes.
I mean,
Yep.
well, how ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, a kid in the early 90s.
Well, I mean, I
Yeah.
couldn't even imagine somebody's like, oh yeah, let me pull out my harp and my ukulele and let's just start a song.
Friday nights. Any night. We'd be in the basement. Then we had a TV in a bar, and
Yeah.
Kelly and I lived with my brother,
Okay.
and so he had a TV in a bar and a dartboard.
Oh,
So
fun.
we'd hang down, and they'd play darts. I would try once in a while, but I usually took the ceiling out or the wall. So I'd watch TV, and they'd do that, and then we'd break and we'd
Yeah.
play music and sing, and it was just fun.
Wow. So you and Kelly, your husband, went to school together?
No, he actually went to Flushing, and I went to Grand Blanc.
Oh, okay.
And we met through a mutual friend
Okay.
in our early 20s.
Okay.
Yeah, 22, 23-ish.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of didn't
Wow.
start dating until 2 or 3 years later.
You're just the hangout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'd run into each other at bars. Hey,
Hey, what's up?
we should
That's-
go out sometime. Yeah, okay. A couple months later, we'd see each other at the bar. Hey, yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome, though.
See, that's the friendly people are like that. It's like because you want to hang out with everybody, and it's like, oh yeah, like when you see him, you remember.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I like that guy. He's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And then one day we were at the bar, and he's like, my girlfriend and I were talking about a camping trip we had just gotten back from.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like behind us, and he's like, What? You like camping? And I'm like, I love camping. I grew up camping.
Right.
Girls don't camp. Oh, yes, they do. Girls camp all the time. He's, oh, you want to go to UP this weekend? I'm like, yeah. And I didn't think he was serious, but just in case I was ready to go. And sure enough, he showed up. Our
Oh
first
my
day was a
gosh.
weekend in the UP.
That's so
And
cool.
that was that. From there on, we
Did
just,
he roofie you? Just tell us. No. Oh, she liked it. She liked it.
not the first night.
See why I love her? I love her. Well, a lot of people don't know this, but you've played a huge role in the comedy series. A huge,
Yes.
huge role. A
Thank
bigger
you
role.
so much for that.
A bigger role than I think you even probably give
was
credit
all
to.
you.
No.
So Karen used to book Fischer Hall. She ran the calendar there. And a lot of you guys know, a lot of you that have been coming to shows, that's where we started. That was our first little baby of how we got going, was at Fischer Hall.
Yeah.
And we had no idea what we were doing. No clue. And it's funny because I actually didn't realize who Greta Van Fleet was back then either. But you always said, my boys, my boys, my boys. And you're talking about them touring and they're going here and they're going there. And I thought, what is she talking about? Like, I just couldn't, but I never wanted to say it like, okay, fill me in, because you talked so confidently about them that it was like, I should know. And I get like that. Like, if I think I should know, then I'll just pretend like I know until
Right.
I look it up and figure it out myself. So we would go to Fischer Hall, and I remember at first I was like, okay, so I know that you guys charge rent, but I don't know what I'm doing. Help me. And then you put in a good word with, the board, and just helped us get started.
Yeah.
And you talked about the
John
boys.
Webb was big in that. He
John
huge in
was
that.
amazing. He still, every time I see him, he winks and gives me a high five, and I just get flooded with memories, because I remember you walking me into his office, and you're like, I've already talked to him, and
Yep.
here we go. And I was
Yep.
like, come on, Melissa. It was so cool. And then that first weekend sold out, 5 days?
Yeah, super
6
quick.
days. We did all them shows, and it was like, okay, this is
Yeah.
going to be a thing. Let's
And
do
it was
this.
tricky because it was Frankenmuth.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's like the hall doesn't care what you do.
Right. but the town cares.
But the town might
Yeah.
speak up, and yeah,
The town
so that
cares.
was tricky.
And that's the thing. You encouraged us to be funny and do our thing and not, cross the line. And we didn't.
Yeah.
Everything stayed fairly clean. I mean, it's a light R show, but we didn't do all the gross stuff. And the town has loved it. I mean, we have
it's
so
been a big hit.
many
It's so
regulars.
huge.
Yeah,
Yes.
people in town that come every single time.
But I mean, that's credit to you. You're funny, and you bring in funny people. So I mean,
I
you're
know,
really
but
good at this.
We could still be homeless, though, if it wasn't for Karen.
Yeah. I think that Karen gets more credit than what she wants to have, for sure.
Well, we're so thankful. So
thankful.
talk about before that, when the boys played there, did you do the same thing? Were you the push behind it? Like, hey, let's let the boys play here. Let's see.
John Webb.
John, God, that guy. Jeez, that's amazing.
He saw them playing in the garage, and by this point they had a manager,
Okay.
Michael Barbie, had seen them playing in the backyard at a birthday party or something, and said, "Have your parents call me." And so we talked to him and we met with him. He said, "This is what's missing. These boys have what's missing in music today."
Yeah.
And I know a bit, and I've been involved in the industry. I'd like to help them get to where they're going. So he got them organized, got them practicing, all that stuff. And actually, it was before that, John Webb, the boys would play in the garage with us.
Right.
All the grown-ups and the boys. And they started playing on their own. And John said, you guys are actually really good, but
right.
you don't know any
They don't even
any
know how
songs all the way through. And Joshua, you make up half the words that you do sing. So if you could actually learn 10 songs
How amazing.
all the way through with the right words, I'll put you on stage. And it was a win-win for him because
Right.
he was doing a fundraiser.
Oh,
So they weren't
that's
getting
awesome.
paid. He just was like, I can fill the stage and you guys are good enough if you do this. Oh my gosh. It was Autofest up on the hill by the
Yep.
outside. And the boys started playing, and it's this weird thing, and we saw it happen after that. But, there were a few people, and then there were a few more people, and I turned around, and the whole place was full, and the whole street, and this is Autofest, and the whole street was just full of people just standing outside
Watching.
the fence, listening and watching. And the boys got the taste of that. Mm-hmm. And
It feels good.
And that was it.
Yeah.
They were like,
Let's do
that
it.
was fun.
Let's do
that
it.
was fun. Then we started going, okay, well, we can do the fundraiser in Fischer Hall. We can, and that's how we started. And then it became, when Mike got involved, then it became, a kind of not annual, but we would do a couple of shows,
Yeah.
and,
Right.
and people would come in because it was like a home stage.
Yeah.
And,
And they were in high school.
yeah.
They were in high school.
Yeah, Sammy and well, when they first started, it wasn't Danny, but Sammy was 13. He was 12 when they started playing. He was 13 when they actually started performing.
That's incredible.
So
obviously, with your background, you were excited to see them in music. No?
yes,
Yes?
yes. I was excited that they had this wonderful gift because Josh and Jake specifically were not cut out for our educational system. Real
And you-
smart, super smart.
and you figured that out
high
early
IQs,
on?
but not at all like, figured that. So I was like concerned about them like getting some sort of education that would get them a job so they wouldn't be in a gas station or a McDonald's for the rest of their life. Well, they had this gift.
Yeah.
So I was very excited. But, I mean,
There's a lot of
there-
gifted
there-
people
there
working at gas
are
stations.
So many
Yeah.
gifted people that don't make that
Right.
break, don't get that, don't meet that person. So, yeah, so it was a little,
But I
I was very excited.
Yeah, but
I was very
think
scared.
I bet. But I think you and your husband Kelly have the key to and the answer to why most people don't get that break. The why most people don't make it there, because I got to tell you, I have never in my 4 years of knowing you, I have never met a more encouraging person. I couldn't even imagine if you were one of my parents. You know, like kids want nothing more than their parents to be proud of them. They want nothing more than their parents to say, I believe in you. Like, you can do this. And I'm so proud of what you're accomplishing.
Yeah.
And every time I see you light up talking about your kids and their talents, I am happy for them and so jealous. I'm so jealous. It makes me mad, you know, and I think there's a lot of talented kids greeting at Walmart and working at a gas station and flipping burgers because nobody said, I believe you can do this. I know you can. They were like, you're never going to make it. Only the lucky ones make it. You know?
Right.
Oh, right.
That's the thing.
And I tossed some of that in. I said, you know, you need to have a backup plan because in Frankenmuth, there's three bands. Mm-hmm. In Saginaw County, there's 100 bands. Uh-huh. And I tried to explain to them how hard it is, and that I know you can do it. I know it will happen, but will it happen tomorrow or 10 years or 20 years? Because some people start when they're your age and they don't get discovered for 15, 20 years. In the meantime, there's got to be a backup plan.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, Mom, we don't need a backup plan. This is what we're doing.
And you're like,
all right. But look at this pamphlet. And Sammy, especially. I mean, he had when he was in junior year, he was getting stuff from Yale and Harvard, and
wow,
because he was his ACTs were great, and I'm like, oh, just look this up. Let's just we can just apply and see. And one, it's like, no, goodness. Mom, I don't need it. I'm like, okay, all right, Kelly, we get him to the kid. Let's go. Drive to Nashville. Let's go.
Right.
They don't have a backup plan.
If we have to move, we got to go.
We have to just do it. That's so cool. You invited us, and we actually used it as a team outing. My whole crew that helps me on all the shows. When we came to Detroit to your show, I was so thankful for that whole experience.
Oh my gosh, it was incredible.
It was so much fun. We rode in a limo there, and we got to go down backstage, and after the show, that was so amazing, and that you even cared enough to offer that to us was.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Karen, that blew my mind. I was crying. They're like, Melissa, calm down. I'm like, I just love her so much.
Well,
She's so good to me.
You've been so supportive and so wonderful, and you are doing wonderful things for this community. This community could
promoting
you
and your boys is something that we get so excited about because here's the thing that people don't understand. The good stuff, you know, you think of rock and roll stars, especially young kids that fall into all this money and then they're just getting crazy doing drugs and there's drinks all over. And I mean, your kids are doing some amazing things.
Yeah.
They are doing amazing things for the community too. Like, let's go back to Fischer Hall. I mean, we've all been there since it's been upgraded, and it's because of them. You know what I mean? So they're not doing drugs and all this crazy stuff.
Exactly.
They're giving back to the community.
And so
it's
that
amazing.
you instilled that stuff in them, you know, says a lot about what your household ran like. Right. I'm like, why didn't we spy on them more?
Well, it's funny, too, because growing up, we were the house that parents said, you let your kids go there. Don't let your kids go to that house. They're crazy. They're a bunch of bohemians. They let their kids do anything they want. and it really wasn't that way. I mean, we didn't have cable or internet or anything. Well, we had internet, but they didn't have games and all that stuff. They climbed trees. They went hiking. They fished in the creek, and they kayaked in the creek. Well, that's what they did. They weren't bohemian. They were just...
Yeah.
You know, it's like, you know, go outside. We got this huge area. We kind of live out in the country. So we got 2 acres and there's all kinds of stuff around us, woods and stuff. And
nice.
And
that's awesome.
So, but there's like, don't go, those people are crazy and those are, but it was, and then as they got into their late teens, they're going to do stuff.
Yeah.
They're going to, so, I mean, I imagine there's 1 or 2 people out there that didn't. But, but I was the good kid, and I know what I did. You know what I mean?
Yeah. None of us are sitting in that room.
She was the naughty kid, and I know some of the stuff she did.
Yes.
And I'm like, I'd be dead.
Yes.
I don't know how you're alive.
Right.
I don't know.
So, it was just a matter of talking to them and saying, here's what's out there.
Right.
And this is what's going to go wrong. Mm-hmm. And if you want a beer, then... you stay here and have a beer,
right?
But if your friends are over and they're going to have a beer, I say don't let them have a beer,
right?
but I know what's going to happen.
Right.
I don't.
Yeah,
Right.
I
so,
totally.
but if anybody's here drinking, they
You're
do
not going
drive.
anywhere.
They're not going. You give me their keys. You give me. They're spending the night. Blah blah blah. And that wasn't until late. It's not like they were a bunch of drunk 14-year-olds running around.
Right.
You know what I mean?
They were too busy practicing then.
And that's the other thing is Jake was always playing the guitar. Always, always, always. And he always wanted to form this band. And he kind of started, I think, his sophomore year. He was maybe 14 when he got together with Kyle and they started playing. And then they got Josh Josh felt sorry for him because they didn't have a singer, so he went out and started singing. And
he does things that singers wish they could do.
Yeah.
I mean,
but he's he's
incredible.
film, all about film. Someday he'll.
Well, and that's the thing. So I got talked into going to this. Oh my gosh, what was that called? Game night, improv game night. Yeah. So I get talked into doing this thing in Frankenmuth, right. And now I've heard Karen talk about her boys a ton. I show up. Karen walks in with
Josh,
and he's got short basketball shorts on, tall striped socks, I think a cutoff sleeve shirt, curly fro hair. I'm like, what in the world? And he's so confident. And Karen, she sits like he's too young to be there on his own. And Karen sits in a chair to just watch him do his improv. And we end up in a scene together. I was a lady having a baby, and he was a monkey, and he was like picking lice out of my head, some ridiculous thing. And it's so funny because everybody's clapping and woohoo, and I'm like, I don't get it. Like, I don't understand what's going on here. What is the deal? And then once we started getting more involved and listening to their music, and I was like, oh, I had so much access. What was wrong with me? Gosh darn it. I would have taken 18,000 selfies with Josh. You know what I mean?
That's funny.
Like, how do you... It's just like, golly. But again, another scenario where you were an adoring mom in the audience, and it was such a cool example to watch.
Well, it was like a 21 and over thing. And I think he was 19.
Yeah.
But I knew that he would just love that.
And he did so good.
And so he was around and had the opportunity. And I'm like, well, I'll go with you. And
I don't care what you say about whatever. Performing is performing. A singer that stands there in front of a microphone and just sings, if their voice is the most amazing thing you've ever heard, it is going to be boring unless they're doing something.
Yeah.
And your boys do so good at that, of bringing the audience in to their whole performance.
They've really gotten comfortable at the stage. When they first started out, Jake would literally have his back to the audience. And I was you got it. They want to see, you're the guitar player. They want to see your fingers. They want to see what you're doing. So he started to get brave, and then he would like look at the drummer and maybe over to Josh sideways, and then right back. And I'd go up from a side stage,
giving them hand signals.
Right. And so and Sammy would kind of just sit in the back and kind of.
Aww.
And so they've
come alive.
They have definitely become comfortable on stage and realize that these people want to see them. They're there for them, and the energy exchange is what blows my mind.
That's the whole hard to get thing. See, when you pretend like you don't care about it, everybody wants you. That's how that works. I bet. Yeah, that's why they get all the girls too. So back to Detroit when you had us in Detroit. So we're back about halfway in the theater, and at the very end, Kelly comes out on stage.
Oh my gosh.
Their dad.
Yep.
And he starts playing, and I got goosebumps right now. The chemistry between, I mean, just imagine if you're anything of a performer or someone who likes to be in front of people. Imagine that moment with your dad getting to do that. I mean, the chemistry between them was just, I had tears coming down my face. It was so awesome. Cool. It was so cool. But we had people sitting around us that would not believe us that was their dad. They're like, no,
that's funny.
Leave it to these bands to hire musicians for a great encore. And we're like, no, that's their dad. Oh, yeah, sure, okay.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And they're like, well, it's good anyways. And they just would not. And it was so fun listening to the people around us that
they're like, is that their dad?
It blew their mind. What? And then someone's like, well, well, no, I think it's their dad. And then someone had Greta Van Fleet's Facebook page up or something, and there was a picture of you guys with them. They're like, that's just their dad. That's their dad. And so imagine, that's just our little world in that theater. Imagine when they do that, the stuff that goes on.
So they, of course, they've been playing with Kelly since they were little, right?
Yeah.
So I think the first time they did that, had him on stage, was at the intersection in Grand Rapids.
Okay.
And he was so nervous.
Oh,
He's
Kelly?
Like, yeah. He's like, oh, I got to get in a place. I got to get in a space. I don't, what if I blow it? What? Blah, blah, blah. And he knew what song was going to be playing. I'm like, Kelly,
he's so
it's
good.
The garage with your boys. you know you're good. You know you got it. There's people. Just look at your boys.
Yeah.
And so he got out and he had a lot of fun. So, but now what happens? And they do, when they do like a Detroit show, usually one of the nights they'll bring him up. But last time, I thought it was the Fox Theater.
Right.
They're like, yeah, why don't you play? What song? Oh, we don't know. Well, Okay.
Oh,
okay. First night of the concert, he's like, what? You're not playing tonight. Okay, but do you know what song we're going to play? We don't know. We haven't figured out. Well, so it wasn't until sound check that they decided what song they were going to play.
That's so funny.
And Kelly's like, don't play that song. And they're like, oh yeah, you just do that, Dad. You know how to just do it. Blah blah. And he was so nervous.
Oh my gosh.
And he's like, it blew his mind. It's like, they're professionals. They can just go out and just do it.
I need some
but
planning.
He did. He just walked out on that stage and just did it. And I'm like, of course you can just. He did.
And he was walking around, and they were all hugging and high-fiving, and
it was an awesome thing to see for sure.
It was very
everyone
cool.
in the audience was stunned.
Yeah.
And in awe.
Yeah.
It is a beautiful thing. I always get teary-eyed. I don't cry anymore. The first 2 times I cried.
I'm sure.
Now I just go, oh, that's so sweet.
So Karen, what can you tell people that are listening to this right now? Okay, we have a very diverse group of listeners. They're great. We got moms, we got dads, we got kids, we got all kinds of people. But for the people that are listening that always feel like the square peg that won't fit in the round hole, what can you tell them to help them feel more round?
Well, first of all, the kids have different, there's developmental stages, and there's an average, and doctors and schools look at these averages and go, oh, you're behind, we need to bring you up, blah, 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 blah. Well, there's physical development that goes along with this emotional development, this ability to learn different things. Parents, when you've got somebody saying your kid's behind because he's still not saying his R's right. Sam was in 3rd grade and he still couldn't say an R.
Wow.
He's a bit slow, and we got blah and blah blah blah. His work is okay, but there's something wrong, and I'm freaking out. No, there's nothing wrong. His muscles just developed differently. He ended up being stellar student and great. So don't freak out when people are telling what's going on with your kid and what's in your kid's head. So when you've got someone saying, oh, Josh and Jake, 2nd grade, still not good with their ABCs. They need special help. They're, developmentally delayed. And I'm like, no, because I see the things they see.
Yeah.
They point things out and they ask questions, and they're talking about things that you don't talk about at that age. So no, they're not. There's So parents, listen to your gut a little bit. And it's hard because you're going, oh, there's something wrong. I'm a bad mom if I don't take care of this, because the school knows, these people know.
And they make a big deal
about it. So just relax. It's going to be okay. Just then, as far as the kids are concerned, it is difficult. And there was some bullying, and there was hard times, and some teachers, there are wonderful teachers, and we're lucky that we had some wonderful teachers. Some teachers are not.
Strongly misunderstand.
Yes. And so there was some bullying being going on by teachers. And we went and we talked to teachers, and, well, no, this is the way it is, and this is, and your kid's this, and blah, 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 blah. And So probably should have pulled them out of those classes, but I told Kelly they need to learn now, because you're not always going to get along with the person that's in control, and sometimes you got to learn how to deal with it.
Stronger person.
And so I would just tell them, you need to just do your best and understand that they don't understand.
Yeah.
And as they got older, it's just letting them know that you got to get the high school diploma. You got to plug through it. It seems useless. It seems like it's not going to help you and your dreams. But in this society, because we still are, you still have these rules that you have to at least get through so that you can go to the next step.
Yeah.
You will find your people. So, like, if you're in sports, you got your people. And, like, there's lots of kids that are in sports. There's lots of kids that do those things. But if you're out of the box, those kids are at risk because they're alone. They're more unique. So there's not going to be 100 kids in your graduating class like you. So they're the ones that get a little more picked on. They're the ones that feel like they don't belong and what's wrong with me. And that was my hardest challenge, was there's nothing wrong with you.
Yeah.
You are great and wonderful. There just aren't other people like you in this small space.
Here. Yeah.
But just keep going. You will find your people. As soon as you break out of this space,
you'll find them.
They are out there. There are other people just like you all over the place that are thinking the same thing. And you just got to hold it together and keep plugging along and know that you are great and there's nothing wrong with you. Just because you're different, there is nothing wrong with you. And, people would say to me, you should make him wear pants to school in the winter. You know what? Why? He doesn't want to wear pants. We can have a fight about it. But why? That's part of his control. Some of the control he has. Kids don't have control. So the little things that
it's like pick your battles, right?
Exactly. Let them have some control. What does it matter if he's wearing shorts? He's not, and I said, you should probably wear jeans. It's cold. I don't want to wear jeans. Okay, but if the bus gets stuck or something, you're gonna blah 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 blah. Okay, you're warned. And
then what? Yeah.
So kind of let them be them.
Yeah.
And support them, and let them know that their people are out there.
Yeah.
That you can.
Well, and that's the thing that I will tell you, doing stand-up comedy now, I mean, myself and this crew works so hard to produce all these shows. But that's something that I hear all the time. You don't know how lucky you are to get to do what you love. Well, I did do that on my own. I didn't grow up with any kind of encouragement. I mean, I got the class clown in school. I was the entertainer at the parties. It was very obvious.
Right.
I hear now that I do comedy, I hear from all my aunts and uncles about how hilarious I was and all these funny things that I did. And it was like, wow. I mean, my parents at times acted like they hated having my personality in the family.
See, and that's the
God, you embarrass us all the time.
That's a tricky thing for the parents, because my boys would come out all dressed up in costume and put on crazy shows and do crazy things, and I had to say, okay, this could be embarrassing for me because they're out of the box and we've got all these people here going, well, that's off the wall.
That's not
what are they doing?
That's not normal.
Or I can just bite my tongue just because it's not comfortable for me.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that it's not hugely wonderful for them as they develop and grow old, as they come to age. They'll have this confidence and these abilities and these experiences.
Right.
So it's real easy. I can see that for a parent to go, oh, that's embarrassing. Don't do that. And trying to squash. And you really got to just kind of step back. I mean, if it's something dangerous or I don't know, but you got to kind of find that middle ground and be able to kind of step back and say, that is awesome. I would never have the guts. Joshua, 7 years old, we went down to Disney, and it was just after 9/11, and there were huge lines to get in, and we were stand there, and I got these 4 little kids. Oh my gosh. I'm missing one. Where's Josh? Well, I see Josh, and there's one lone tree that's in the raised bed, And Josh was standing up on that thing doing like the mime thing, like he just struck a pose, and he'd just stand there, and people were walking, and then he'd shift to another pose.
Oh my gosh!
And I was like, oh my god, I gotta stop. Wait, why? And people are walking up and going, touching him and going, oh, that's so cool. Oh, and walking by and looking at him. And part of me was like, nope, that's not okay. Get it. And the other part was just because I would not have had the guts to do that.
Right.
Doesn't mean that that's not healthy for him. That's who he is. Let him do it.
Not scared at all.
Right.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
I don't know what to say except kind of let them breathe. Let them breathe. Try not to put your anxieties or your
fears,
preconceived notions
into them.
Into them. Don't squash them. Because I know kids.
Yeah.
I did teaching for just a little bit. And I know kids that brilliant and the things they can do, but totally squashed. And
not
they
doing
don't,
what they should be doing.
And then they get older and they're not happy.
Even in the comedy world, we see it all the time. We will have a comic who's just a low-level opener that works here and there for piddles, little bit of money. They will get on stage and destroy the show with their brilliant comedy. And it's like, what? Why are you in this position?
Right.
Like, you should cost thousands of dollars at least, if not more. And they will have no self-confidence. They will not believe in themselves, though. You'll try to compliment them, and they're like, they brush it off.
Right.
And it's like, what? How were you just know their path has been rough. You know that anytime somebody has a hard time taking encouragement, I am like a freaking sponge. Yeah. If someone says one kind of nice thing, I'm like, oh, thank you so much. Thank you. I needed that. So, and that's why, these girls, they've learned that about me, and they're so great. Even before shows, they're like, oh, you're going to be awesome tonight. I'm like, you have no idea how much that means to me. Right. Like, because then you really feel like you can do it.
Yeah.
For my beautiful classmates that might be listening, I got to be the president of my senior class in high school, and I can tell you it wasn't because I was into politics. It had nothing to do with wanting to put on these damn reunions every 5 years or whatever the crap I'm supposed to be doing. I knew only 3 people got the microphone at graduation. The valedictorian, the salutatorian, and the president.
And you wanted that mic.
And I wanted that mic. I wanted to speak in front of that gymnasium full of people because I knew I could make them laugh,
Yep.
And I did, and it was awesome. But now I got all this after responsibility that I didn't know I was going to have. I'm like, okay, I retire. Isn't this a 4-year term? Let me out. But
Karen, you're getting so much love on our Facebook page. When you get a minute, definitely go on to Ladies of the Comedy Series and check out all of the comments that you're getting.
Okay.
Melissa Petzold has been commenting like crazy, and
Melissa Petzold's a huge fan.
She says, thank you for being such an amazing mom to your children. The 2 that I have spoken to, Sam and Ronnie, truly impressed me. They are so confident and so smart, kind, and so nice. That this reflects your parenting.
That is sweet.
Yeah.
I do have a thing to say about parenting.
Yeah.
So Kelly and I Kelly worked 60 hours a week.
Yeah.
So when they started doing music, he would actually like go in extra early so that he could get out early enough so that we could get him to work, because I didn't know all the wiring and but we have this group of friends that we were friends. Like Joe Anthony I knew since 6th grade.
Oh.
And then he grew up and got married, and my brother and he were friends, and we'd all go out and we'd all do camping and stuff. And then so there's this group of people that we all had kids together, and we all in that whole it takes a village.
Yes.
Yeah, my kids, Jake said it about a year ago. He said, one of the reasons our camping trip, our annual camping trip is so important to me is that I got moms. Not just you, Mom, but I got moms. And it's like if we were out of line, we always knew that Kelly or Sue or Cindy would be like, you do this, or if we weren't clear, you blah, blah. And we always had these moms, and if there was anything going on, we knew we could go talk to them. So if there was something that we didn't think you would be able to handle, we knew Kelly would have the answer.
Yes.
And we'd go talk to Kelly. And so thank you for the compliment. We worked really hard to raise good kids, but it really helps
having
when you have those people you trust around you that help with
that's awesome
things. Yeah.
And I would love to give a shout out to the Army also. So how did that happen? The Greta Van Fleet Army. I mean, there is fan pages that are so big.
Yeah, and
they take over the social media realm.
Yeah, and quite honestly, I can't remember how the Army started. There were just a few people, and I don't want to say any names because I might be wrong with who's who.
Right.
But yeah, they started out small, and we know a few of the people, and they just got it. They just got it. They understood
and that's
the message.
You're talking about your people.
Yes.
You find your people.
And that's the boys are it's all about the music and getting this message out. And Joshua wanted to go into film so he could get his message out. And he wanted to quit the band. And then they signed with the label, and he freaked out because now I can't quit, and I need to be in film.
Yeah.
And I need. Well, as soon as they started reaching people, he went, you know what?
I can do it.
I'm getting my message out.
Yeah.
You know, we gotta be good to each other. We're going to destroy ourselves. We get hung up on color. We get caught up in religion. We get caught up in all these things that are man-made and not necessary. We've got a planet that's one planet, and we've got mankind that is one unit.
Yes.
And we have got to fix it. We have got to get together. We have got to talk and accept and give and take.
Yeah.
And it's so important to them.
I would love to see the day that we start getting some dialogue at the concerts. Josh should say all of those things.
Yeah.
They could just strum in the background, and Josh could say it out loud. That crowd would
so
go
awesome.
insane.
Yeah.
They would go insane.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, he should. They should just play in the background.
He hesitates to talk during the concert.
Yeah.
It's like they're not there to hear me talk.
Yes,
they are.
So
they
they want
are.
to hear our music, and we try to put our
Because
message
I tried
in
to
our
sing
music.
once at a comedy show, and as bad as it was, they loved it.
Yeah.
But I'm never doing it again.
Yeah.
They just, I mean, it's
A
such
fan's a fan.
It's such a powerful message. That is such a powerful message.
Yeah.
That is the opposite, which is why they are flourishing, because that stuff does not fall on deaf ears. You know, It's the negativity and the naysayers. Those are the ones that have to work a lot harder to try to get their people together. There's a lot more good people out there than we all give it credit. You know, the squeaky wheel gets the attention, and you think, oh my gosh, that's everybody. No, it's not.
It's not.
There's a lot of amazing people out there.
Yes.
And when you start doing amazing things for your community and your groups, you find them.
And it is like, and I hate the word army, but that is kind of the point.
Yes.
Is that you get all these people that are like-minded and feel this way, who are kind of hiding in the corner and feeling beaten down by all these big voices. And all of a sudden you have a majority, a huge group that can make a difference, that can, go to the polls. Your vote does count, and say things to the person next to you that's down, and pat that person on the back, give that kid a hug.
Yes.
Right.
All those things, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's better than okay. It's necessary.
It's definitely necessary. That's
You
incredible.
gotta open that heart and love, and I think that's why that particular site really works, because they get that message.
Yes. What site?
The Peaceful Army.
Yes. Okay. With the Peaceful Army. Yeah. There.
Yeah.
We threw a party. One last thing we did not touch on the Grammys. You got to go to the Grammys.
Oh, Grammys, schmammies.
Grammys. Yeah, I know. I'm like, what are you wearing? How are you doing your hair? Did you get your nails done? Like, I'm just blowing up her phone, and she's like, shush, Melissa, I don't even care about this.
No, I just didn't know yet. I'm like, I don't know. I don't have a dress. I don't know what I'm doing.
While you guys were gone, I asked if it was okay. I was like, can we have a party for you guys? And she's like, why would you want to do that? I'm like, guys! So we threw a party. We had a backdrop with all their CDs.
People loved it, too. I got feedback when I got back.
Yeah,
that was so much fun.
Yeah, we reserved an area for your friends and family so that they could, not be bombarded by people if they wanted to be, which they seemed to love it.
Yeah.
And we dressed up. It was so much fun.
It was a blast.
And we were just all glued to the TVs. And again, this should tell you how far even our little town has come. We were at a very unlikely place to have this party.
Yes.
Mostly because we didn't know how to get TV in Fischer Hall.
Right.
We just didn't know how to do it.
Because I wasn't there. It's not hard.
Yeah. Well, see, we didn't know. But you were busy at the Grammys.
Yes.
What was that like? They were up for 4 Grammys.
They're up for 4. And they kind of got slammed for not being there to take the Grammy they got.
Right.
But they were at 2 different spots.
Mm-hmm.
So since they were up for Best New Artist,
Yes.
they chose to go to the main place just in case they got it.
Yes.
They didn't expect to get anything, but they're
Right.
like, well, the management was like, this is where we need to go.
Yeah.
You need to be there. Well, on the way there, because, traffic's crazy.
Yeah.
So on the way there is when they got awarded at the other place the Best New Rock Album. Mm-hmm. But so they couldn't be there because they were on their way to the other place.
Right.
And
I love especially social media mongrels that put all their 2 cents in.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so you're going to put your judgment out there. How many Grammys have you been nominated for? Remind me again.
Right. Yeah.
None? Okay, shut up.
So wait, the Grammys don't all take place in one place.
Right. So,
Okay.
like they did Best New Country, Best New Pop, Best
Like
New
the popular
Rap.
ones.
They did those ones at the televised at the
Okay.
arena. But
And that's where
Best
the
New
performing
Rock doesn't-
happens.
yeah.
Yes.
Best New Rock did not make that. And then, production and all those other ones that they don't think are like good TV. Or whatever,
Right,
They need
right,
to sell their advertisements.
Yeah.
Take place at another venue.
Huh. Not even on the same property.
No.
That is
No,
so
it's
crazy.
still in LA, but it's a whole nother venue.
Yeah.
So for them to
Wild.
go there for that, they wouldn't be back. And then with the Grammys, once a certain time comes, you can't come in because it is all televised and everything's locked down. And then you have to wait, and then you go to commercial, and then they rush people around, and everybody said, and it's really interesting. it's a big production.
Yeah.
So it just, and management said we need to go straight to the arena and get our seats and be there for that. So that,
And all the greatness in that room that probably, we saw on TV the Red Hot Chili Peppers drummer came in and shook their hands and patted them. And it's like, oh my gosh.
Oh, they're
like, it's just wild. And that's cool. That's gotta feel good. Inside your own mind, no matter how many people are in front of you, you still think like, I'm just me. I'm just me. I'm just me.
Right.
And then people like that come up to you and congratulate you. And
when they opened for the Foo Fighters and Grohl came onto the bus and because he came from the same thing. He was not fitting into the school thing. His mother was a teacher.
Yeah.
I read her book, actually. Moms of Rock Stars. I don't remember the exact title, but Dave Grohl's mom.
okay.
But it was the same sort of thing. She was an educator, and you expect your kids are going to get A's and do everything wonderful like you grew up, and then they don't. And you go, oh no, what do I do? Oh no! And she had the same thing, and she saw this gift and realized that he wasn't fitting in this world that we're trying to fit him into, and so I think he kind of understood. So he got on that bus and he gave them words of wisdom, and they will never forget that.
Aww.
Elton John.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Elton
yes.
John.
Such a huge
I almost
deal.
picked one of those pictures to show of you with Elton John, and I was like, oh boy.
If you can get tickets to that, and you want to,
That
like,
he
help
seemed.
us out.
Was he awesome? Nice, wonderful.
Awesome.
That's cool.
Awesome.
That's so cool.
And I just talked with him briefly.
Right.
But he's everything that I expected him to be,
That's
because I
very
grew
cool.
up listening to his music and watching what he was doing with his
And,
foundations
yeah.
and his charity. And
Talk about a round peg in a square hole.
Oh,
yeah.
Come on.
But he is really great with the boys.
That's awesome.
He's same thing, gives them advice, tells them, it's okay, and all that. Yeah. He's
really cool.
A wonderful, warm human being.
That's very cool. How exciting.
You have such an intriguing life.
Yeah, you do. I
Yeah.
could talk to her all day.
I know, this is
I
insane.
got like 100 more things. Jeez. What was it like changing their diapers? Well,
Oh, I've got stories about that. You try changing diapers on twins when they start rolling.
Oh my gosh. How in the world? And they didn't have all the fancy contraptions that they have now. Did you ever like tie them to you and like those like baby wearing? Have you seen that? Where mom's like
the sling?
Yeah.
No, my cousin had the sling. She kept telling me to do the sling.
Yeah.
I didn't do the sling, but Kelly and I would wear them. I had a back and a front one, and
on both sides.
And Kelly would have a back and front because we had 4 little ones, right? So,
oh my goodness.
So, yeah, it was crazy.
Boy, you got
fun.
a nice uterus. Karen Kiszka, the nicest uterus in the town.
Thank you, Melissa.
You're welcome. What a lovely home you provided.
I think it was the breasts. I think it was the breast milk that did it.
Good job. Good job,
All
Karen.
The beer I didn't drink.
We've had so much fun. We've had so much fun talking with you, and this has been such a cool interview. It's on Facebook. We'll hopefully be posting it to our YouTube channel later, Melissa Hager TV. Obviously, wherever you're listening to us, any podcast app, you can search Ladies of the Comedy Series and find us. Let the record show that I have amazing parents. I know that they love me. I know that they don't understand me, but I don't want it to be misunderstood that
you couldn't have turned out so wonderful if they weren't wonderful parents.
Yeah, exactly.
So, right.
They did something right. Obviously. So I just want the record to show, because I'll get a phone call about that later. But anyway, so And
I don't do Facebook. I was so overwhelmed with so much going on, so I've cut myself out of Facebook.
Yeah.
But I do still have my Facebook ID, so I will go out and look at that.
Yeah,
okay.
When we get done. Comments to you.
Okay.
That's awesome. Thank you, everybody that's been watching and commenting. And Karen, you're so wonderful. I hope we can have you back.
Well, thank you for having me. Yeah, I'd love to come.
Thank you so much for everything that you've done, especially
we
this
talk
community
more about
with
you.
us, the comedy series. Thank you so much, Karen.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you.
Oh, gosh. Everybody have a great day. Until we get to see you again, faith,
family
friendships, and
encouragement.
Yes.
Thank you.
So we usually have music.
That's what throws it off. Because Abby has our intro and outro music. So usually there's music, and then, so she'll put it in. So this won't be on the podcast apps yet for a couple days when she gets back from vacation. And then you'll hear this really fun music in the beginning.
And at the end.
You know what? Can we put a Greta song in there?
That'd be awesome. We could probably.
But what about the rights? I don't know.
No one's going to chase you down.
No? No. Think they'll let it play?
Yeah. Worst case scenario. I'll just call Aaron and
be like,
or
leave it
I'll
alone.
call the lawyer and say,
okay,
they're just running this one song for this one bit. Blah, blah, blah.
Okay, well, good. Then we'll do that.
I won't do anything unless something comes. But there's so much of it going on, so much, and what?
Yeah. Thank you, Facebook, for tuning in today.
Tell everybody bye.
Bye bye.